Hello and welcome to the Cyberside Gathering Cup number 1. I am one of your hosts for today, Keith the Geek, and I'm here with
Anais. We went through 2 qualifying tournaments to get where we are today, and we are down to the final 4. 2 semifinals we have to go through, and then a finals we are bringing to you tonight.
Absolutely, and we have some great players coming here in the finals. This first matchup we are going to see DaImp against Taeng, and then we're going to have Equester versus Taeng. So after those 2 matches, the winners of each match will move on to the grand finals. All 4 players who have made it here this far have already earned BlizzCon points. No matter what, even if they lose in their first match here, they've each still walked away with at least 1 BlizzCon point. So congratulations to the 4 guys who have made it through 2 qualifiers and the tournament so far today to make it to the semifinals. And we're going to be getting to the first game here in just a moment. Again, we have DaImp going up against Taeng. And both players are coming with the same lineup. We have Warlock, Druid, and Hunter from both players. So for me, that's basically my dream lineup for tournaments as of right now. Going with any of your pick of the Warlock decks. Druid and Hunter very solid. Very surprised not to see Warrior though.
I am as well, because Warrior would actually be my replacement for Druid. Warrior is a very strong class right now. When you're going into a tournament, you kind of expect to see Patron more so nowadays, but Patron's also hit or miss. It is one of the strongest decks out there, if not the strongest, but you have to be efficient in the way that you play it. So we're going to jump into it right now, and we actually...
Between Taeng and DaImp. Stay tuned and please enjoy. All right. So, what do you think both guys are going to queue up with? You think we're going to see a Hunter's a strong opening if you have all 3 classes?
I do think that we're going to see a Hunter on Hunter slaughter as the first matchup. What do you think?
I think it's a good guess. Then again, if you believe your opponent's going to go Hunter, depending on which Warlock deck you have and which Hunter you believe they have. Oh, wow. Not a single Hunter. We're seeing... Warlock versus Druid. Taeng is going to open up with Druid, and DaImp is going to open up with Warlock. I guess he's ready to get DaImps out there right away. So as we see the mulligan here, we see Doomguard, Abusive Sergeant, Imp Gang Boss, and Void Terror here for DaImp. Picks up an Implosion right away. Oh, and no Wild Growth for Taeng to start out with.
Sorry about that, guys. We're just having to restart the client because of the new glitch that's going on.
We'll have video of that coming right up. Hero Power Attack Phase Turn 2 for Druid. Imp Gang Boss being coined out for DaImp. Sitting alone on the board right now. It's Turn 3. Druid Druid is up right now. Again, there was no Wild Growth on Turn 2. Are we going to see a Shade here on Turn 3? Or are we going to see another complete miss? We could see really anything. We completely missed the mulligan for Druid, so... and again, no Innervate yet, no Wild Growth, so assuming maybe we'll see a Shade. If not, another Hero Power Pass is very, very bad for an opponent that is playing Zoo. Alright, now we see, oh wow, there's really not much for Taeng to do right here. You can play the Mind Control tech, which will certainly get you value in this matchup, or you can just Hero Power Pass again. I think Hero Power Pass is the play. You're only staring at 2 damage. Not a ton you're having to look at, but what do you think? It still can go either way.
It's not the pretty play, but it is the right play. Looking at Zoo as you are right now, I'm definitely going to wait out to try to get a strong pull off of the MC tech, because it's one of the best cards that he has teched in for a Zoo matchup. So it's good, and you can still do Druidy things as a Druid, so you're not too far behind, and your burst potential is still staring at him in the face, so I think it's a strong play.
Ancient of Lore, a very good pickup. You have the opportunity in a few turns to either heal, or you can get yourself... or you can get yourself a little bit more card draw. He has 2 of them now, so it really is the option to do both. Innervate would have been a great pickup, would have been able to get Sylvanas out there, something good and strong on the board that'll trade with basically anything the Warlock is going to play. So I believe Keeper silencing the Imp Gang Boss is probably the play. You really don't want to get too far behind, especially the Argus turn and whatnot coming up for Druid. I mean, we do see an Argus in hand. There are 2 great targets. If the Imp Gang Boss manages to go unsilenced before that, either way, a 3-5 is scary, staring at your sole 2-4 in play.
Absolutely, and I think the Keeper Silence is what's going to come here. I just think he's taking all of his rope time so that he can kind of calculate what he's going to do based off of his next couple of turns. Oh, and he actually goes with the hero power. And does he attack? Yes, he does. So maybe next turn we're looking at a keeper not silencing the Imp Gang boss, but maybe getting rid of the
Void Caller or Void Walker. Yes. Well, seeing that basically you have one perfect play. It's turn 4. You have 2 targets for an Argus. Puts everything basically out of swipe range. So at this point, as the Zoo player, you continue to build up the board. You strengthen the Imp Gang boss, who again, which is not silenced right now. It's very good to hang on to the silence. Then if the Argus does come down, you're able to silence it from a 3/5 and take the perk of the Imps coming out away. So waiting a turn for Taeng, very, very good play. Although the Imp going for a much stronger play, getting out a Void Terror, which now there are 2 really good targets we can see right here silenced. So,
and me personally, I think I would silence the Void Terror not only because it's staring at you at 8/6, but also because you still have the MC Tech in hand, so you want him to kind of spew off a couple of those 1/1 demons to kind of give you that option, because he's rolling into the late stages of the game now where his curve is looking mighty nice, and you don't want to have to drop down your MC Tech as opposed to one of your Ancients or a Sylvanas.
Absolutely true, and like you said, we're coming up on Sylvanas next turn. He can drop. He's still at 25 health as a Druid, and at this point in the match, that's something you're pretty happy with. And now we're here with 4 and the Spectator client again. This has happened a few times recently, guys. We do apologize about the Spectator glitch. We're going to get right back into it. Instead of MC Tech, Taeng goes with a Sylvanas play, getting the strong minion out there, realizing most of the versions that do have Void Terror are not running silences, so realizing not only could he get value off of Sylvanas, but if Sylvanas gets ignored, you can start chipping away at Sylvanas' health and MC Tech something right away. So very tough decision here for DaImp to see what he's going to go with. And double Doomguard in hand, very clunky. You do have 2 Haunted Creepers you can get out there. You're basically fine for the most part with the Druid getting that. Now, the Druid is staring at a little bit of a low health situation. He does have Ancient Allure. He can heal up if he chooses to do that. Puts him at 17 with 5, 9,
7, 9, 10, 12 looking at
17. So yeah, he's basically almost dead if he just does an Ancient of Lore. So you really have to MC Tech right now and hope to get one of the taunts to help quell some of the attack coming in.
Yeah, I think MC Tech and Senjin is the play here, and then you can get rid of the Void Terror so that you can minimize the damage. But staring at what DaImp still has in his hand, he has a lot of DaImps in his hand with Implosion coming down, so, I mean, he's still in great position because if he does drop down the MC Tech and Ascension, all he has to do is get through, and then he's pretty much on the home stretch. There's not much that the Druid can do to come back at this point, even with the 10 heal in his hand.
Going strong with the Ancient of War, so going very strong there, and again, every selection coming down.
Battle.net is going strong with its glitches.
Prompting another glitch in the spectator mode bug. But drops the Ancient of War. Who looking like to push through here? You can get a Doomguard out and push through 3 damage if that's what you want. I think Implosion may be a little bit better. Or just going strong with Dr. Boom and leaving it as is. You have a 1 health Sylvanas right now, which came down before the Haunted Creepers. So if, say, you run a Doomguard, the Imp Gang boss, and the Defender of Argus into the Ancient of War, then you take 1 of the Haunted Creepers and run it into the Sylvanas, then you have a chance of leaving them either a 5/2 Doomguard, a 1/1 Imp, a 1/3 Void...
Or Void Walker.
Sorry, yes. Going with the Knife Juggler play. Oh, wow! Sylvanas is killed. What's going to get stolen? We see the 3 minions. Oh, Argus is taken. All right, not very bad. So you're able to get a few more juggles off. There you go. And there comes the Doomguard. Going to lose either Implosion Doom... What is he going to lose? Ooh, loses Doomguard Implosion. Keeps Dr. Boom, though, so that's very good. Oh, very nice. And is he able to, yes, completely clear the board of the Druid and stare him with a board full of 1/1s.
And without a swipe in his hand, the Druid is in a lot of trouble here.
He really is. There's not much that you can do. I mean, if you MC Tech manage to get either the Knife Juggler or the Doom Guard, you're able to start clearing a little bit from.
But even that doesn't leave you with a good turn. Because if you
still put Ascension up.
Yeah, but if you don't steal the Doom Guard, then a lot of damage is coming to you for free. I think Double Ascension is the best play because it forces him to at least sack his Doom Guard and sack most of the rest of his board, and it gives you one more turn to at least try to get a swipe or something off of there to change the scenario around.
All right. With Silence, again, you're going to have to run something in first with a full board, so it's a little rough right now. You do have the potential. Let's see, he's going to silence the other one. I'm going to sack in what? Okay. He's able to keep the taunt up and push through damage and everything else, I believe. Should run the imp in.
Little bit of a late tap there. And
yes,
that actually wins him the game.
It really does. And from the looks of it, DaImp taking game 1, Zoo versus Druid. So, again, we do have another Druid matchup coming up. Thankfully, the spectator mode should be flipped for that one. We'll be on the just card side, so we shouldn't have any issues. DaImp taking a 1-0 lead here in the first semifinals game against Taeng. So, both players getting ready to queue up their second decks. Again, both players do have Hunter. Both players do have Druid and Warlock. Warlock is now eliminated for DaImp, so DaImp could be going with Warlock or Hunter, and Taeng could be loading up any of the three. Depending on the Hunter, if you're looking at either a hybrid or a mid-range, I believe Hunter should be a great choice for Taeng moving forward.
I think we'll see Druid on Druid.
Oh, DaImp coming out with Hunter, and Taeng coming with the mid-range Warlock. So the mid-range Zoo with Void Terror, of course. We've recently had this discussion where you used to believe that Hunter was favored in this matchup, and now we're looking at, we used to believe that Zoo was favored in this matchup.
I still do believe it, just not this version of Zoo. This is a slower Zoo. I still think aggro Zoo beats aggro Hunter, face Hunter. But this mid-range Zoo does not stand a chance. Well, I mean, it stands a chance, but...
Yes. You have to keep tapping to a minimal. You have to tap as little as possible. Hopefully, you don't really have any flame imps coming, so losing that 3 health is a big difference, unless you can get it out on turn 1. All right. Turn 1 Voidwalker, very good play for the Zoo player. That's really what you want to see in your hand. You want to see that. Hopefully, you can coin into an Imp Gang boss on turn 2, but... it appears that he doesn't draw the Imp Gang boss. He's going to have to most likely get the Juggler down, or you can go with the Nerubian Egg. It's a tough choice.
I would go with the Nerubian, just because you're looking at a bow coming down probably on turn 3 if I'm and he does have a bow, but if I'm Taeng, I'm expecting a bow, and you don't want to sack your Juggler just yet because you have a good Juggler combo in your hand with the Implosion. And he does, in fact, drop down the bow, and Mad Scientist come through for 2 damage. And he's got some activated. He has an activator in his hand for it. Imp Gang Boss is great.
That is a card you definitely want to see early in this matchup. If you can't coin it out on turn 2, getting it out on turn 3 is exactly when you want to get it down. With the amount of traps that you have now, and you have a Nerubian Egg that was not silenced last turn, yes, it was a good turn to play the bow. We'll know this turn whether... ooh! Multi-shot. DaImp, some crazy tech here in his deck. Very good card against a lot of decks. Not something you really want to utilize a lot against Zoo with Nerubian Eggs out there, but still very good tech card here in the deck. Going strong with the Piloted Shredder is going to be able to trade favorably with the Imp Gang boss. Now, let's see. Taeng has... a couple of amazing choices right now to go through as the Druid player. You can start getting a couple of juggles. You can get a juggle with the Imp Gang boss. You can power overwhelming the Nerubian and get that up as well. You do take a chance of something like Doomsayer comes down, you lose everything because you just won't be able to deal with it at that point. So power overwhelming, yes, very smart.
I agree with this play, and then you're probably looking at a Void Terror swallowing this up. So you have 3 big creatures you're staring at on board. And this is good. Like, in reference to what you said before, you want to get that egg up as soon as possible.
Exactly, it's the key. So very good in this matchup. No, that's really not that bad. Warlock not being a weapon class, you don't have to worry about it freezing your face. Yes, it can freeze your massive Void Terror for 1 turn, but it dies instantly. The next turn will be good. So a 7/5 goes ahead and pushes through 2 damage right now.
Draws into a freezing trap. That is not what you want to see. And that is a big reason why you don't want to leave Scientist on the board that long. The point of Scientist is also draw out so you can draw into your bursty cards. So I think Scientist is something he should have sacked a little bit sooner than that, especially when I saw Imp getting Boss on the board.
Yes, there are a couple different ways to play it. Now, again, we don't know exactly what traps he has in his deck. We don't know if he also has a snake trap or if he has explosive traps as well, or a snipe or a misdirection. We've seen a little bit of everything on ladder lately. So it's really, oh wow, going with the multi-shot, very nice. Should be able to clean up the board pretty nicely, taking out the Void Terror and see what kind of trap comes up. Gets a freezing trap, so definitely is running 2 freezing traps in his list. Keeps the Snow Chugger alive and clears off one of the imps. So now you're looking at either freezing Nerubian or
an imp.
Yes, freezing the imp is good. I guess the Nerubian is okay to go ahead and get frozen for a turn.
You wouldn't run just Implosion into this thing? Because that's exactly what I would do.
Yeah, he does have the coin. Knowing that he's running freezing traps, being able to coin Implosion, fill up your board. Again, who knows? We know there are no hounds right now, so we know that Unleash the Hounds is coming. Hits for 3, so gets to push 3 damage to the face. The Zoo player is taking complete control of the board. There's no bow active. Again, there's 1 in the hand for the imp, but he's taking a ton of damage down to 18 health, staring at a board full of minions. And Unleash the Hounds is drawn and played instantly for DaImp. And puts up the bow, and is going to be able to completely clear the board if he's... No, he's going to be just short of clearing the board if he sees fit. But he'll be able to leave 1 imp on the board.
See, but as a Zoo player, this is exactly what you want. You want to force him to use his minions that he would be attacking the face with to clear the board.
Yes, this is exactly where you want to be when you are in position as the Zoo player. When Hunter is using things like Unleash the Hounds to continue to trade, then you're good. Right now, Flame Imp is a good situation. You're at 26 health on turn 6. Yes, go ahead and play the Flame
Hunter
Imp.
is at 14.
Yes, this is opposite from a lot of games we have seen recently. And just by taking out the Flame Imp with the weapon, still looking at a ton of damage coming through. Yes, he can kill command it, but where's his win condition? He does have a freezing trap. If he goes to 8, he'll be looking at 4 damage. Doomguard would kill him.
Even though this is the more mid-range kind of Zoo deck, he opened with a great hand that was most of the cards you see in the aggro Zoo, which is what makes this such a dominating scenario for the Zoo player. Because he got all of his early game, he got his sticky minions that helped produce more sticky minions. And he played it smart. He went and he checked for the freezing trap with the minion that he should have, and he just put himself in a great position to even this game up.
Absolutely, and completely played around Snake Trap. Says, I'm at a very good life total. I don't have to worry about Snake Trap. And Quick Shot coming in. And again, you hate to use cards like Quick Shot to not draw cards and to not go towards face damage as a hunter. It doesn't matter what type of hunter you are. You really want to be able to utilize cards like Quick Shot to push for damage and to draw cards. And Taeng just applying too much pressure. Will we see an attack here from Taeng?
I don't think we will. He's been playing it very passive, and there he goes with the pass. And that's a great play, because so far he's seen Freezing Trap, and that's exactly what he expects it to be. So that's a great play, not sitting there and risking your big minion and just waiting to bounce back something else.
All right, now he is most likely going to get the Imp frozen. You're going to be taking 2 damage anyway. You'd rather him have the Imp in his hand than the Dire Wolf. Dire Wolf something you can even at this stage of the game, with the cost that it will be, you can still drop it and get good value off of this Zoo player. So right now, DaImp having some defenses up is the Hunter, and we're looking, he's going to be able to push through. No, he's not going to be able to push through at all, actually, with the Imp getting frozen. So
I think Houndmaster was a great draw there, because it allowed him to stay in this game. This game was looking like it was almost over, and now it's even back up. But he's going to build his wall back up here, probably dropping down that Flame Imp and the Defender. And then next turn, he can even Mal'Ganis, buy himself a couple more turns, and then just unleash Doomguard.
Yeah, by that point, he should be able to clear out his hand of everything but Doomguard and not discard anything. Maybe he'd still be able to draw a card later on. So again, just past not proccing the.
And I love that, because you know he's going to bounce back his Defender, which means he's going to get even one more wall. So that's 3 taunts we're going to see this game.
Yes, 3 sets of taunts coming out for the Druid player. That is what you want to see. If you get anything, ooh.
It's now officially Zoolock.
Yes, it is. So we have. All right, and again, Hunter's Marks, not something you want to utilize right here on this board. I don't even really think you want to bluff for.
That's not game, but that is close.
So he's going to look to push for damage. Unfortunately, it will not go through. We only have 6, 7, 8 damage coming through for the Hunter. So the Hunter will only need, and as we know, this will not kill the Houndmaster. The Hunter will only need another 6 damage to complete the kill. So another quick shot in the but then again, with Mal'Ganis coming down, perfect reason to save your Hunter's Mark, sacrifice one of your 1/1s, and basically just set up lethal for next turn. You're in a very good spot now. Is the Imp, who was looking in a very scary position earlier in this game. Now, knowing that he has emptied his hand, can't see. Oh, he kept the.
That is game. He draws into Abusive Sergeant. Oh no. He's going to discard one of the 2 cards he needs.
Yeah. So it's tough. Do you just abusive and
Defender? You have to.
Because you really don't want to lose because of that.
I mean, as long as he doesn't as long as the Imp doesn't draw into any direct damage, then he'll win next turn, because he'll be able to power overwhelming whatever minion is left, and then drop down the Doomguard.
So yes, very good play right here for Taeng. Going ahead, if he does go with the Abusive Sergeant and then Defender of Argus, which a play I do completely agree with.
All he needs is direct damage. That's it.
Yes, direct damage.
Anything. A second, and he draws into an
Ironbeak Owl
for the win.
Yep, for an absolute lethal.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, wow. Taeng goes down 0-2 to the Imp. The Imp winning with his Zoo, winning with his Hunter, takes a 2-0 lead and is just 1 win away from going to the Grand Finals and playing for 10 BlizzCon World Championships.
No, the Imp won the first game.
Yes. The Imp won Game 1 and Game 2.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yes, and we are heading right now into Game 3. No idea what we are going to see coming from these 2 guys. Well, we know we're going to see Druid from the Imp. It's the only thing he has left. The question is, what are we going to see from Taeng here? Taeng has the option to play any of his decks. He knows he's going into Druid. If he's looking at a mid-range Hunter, which is going with Zoo. So he's going to go with the Zoo and the Druid. Very good matchup for the Zoo, especially if you can get a good start out there. Void Terror, a minion personally, I'm not too big on keeping in this matchup. You like the Gang Boss, it is sticky. It does lose to Swipe, but as long as you can get other minions out there. We see a Wild Growth a mulligan for the Imp. Wild Growth, Savage Roar, Druid of the Claw, and Force of Nature, almost surely to toss back the other.
Do you know if they fix the animation where the Gang Boss totally dies to Swipe?
No, it still totally dies to Swipe. Takes the 4 damage first, builds the 1/1, and then the 1 damage after, which is how the card is meant to be. So yeah, same thing for Death Spite. So if it gets hit with Death Spite, all right. And he does throw back everything. Now we are seeing a BGH here. So if Taeng gets greedy and goes with a massive Void Terror when it is an option, DaImp is going to be able to deal with it. But that is a dead card that's going to be in his hand until at least turn 4 or 5, if not 7, 8, or 9 when you see Boom or Mal'Ganis come down.
Yeah, and if you're Taeng, I think you're aware of that, and you're going to play around that because you know Druids run big game hunters. And did we see Dr. Boom in Taeng's Warlock?
We did. He did not discard it last game.
So
he discarded the other Doomguard. Wait, no. Or was that the...
I think that was the M.
I think that was
So we're not entirely sure if he runs Dr. Boom in this, but so you're looking at Mal'Ganis as the only BGH target. And I don't even think the Imp will keep BGH that long if he's overrun by minions like this, because you can't hold on to BGH just hoping for Mal'Ganis to come out.
A very good position here. He's able to Wild Growth on turn 2. We'll be able to take out the Knife Juggler on turn 3. Implosion that is not going to currently be used. Imp Gang Boss going to come down on the board most likely, but...
Which is good, because when he does swipe to get rid of the Juggler, you're still developing more minions.
I'm not sure if I would go with the swipe here, or if I would go with, I believe Keeper of the Grove would be a little bit better. You want to take that Knife Juggler out. You have the you have a swipe next turn and a Keeper of the Grove on the board to be able to utilize for trades. Or you can, at that point, coin to the Sylvanas if you do not get put under a ton of pressure. So I believe Keeper of the Grove into Knife Juggler, killing it, is the absolute best play right here.
And we're staring at an Abusive Sergeant in Taeng's hand, which means most likely he's going to Abusive his Imp Gang and get rid of that Keeper.
The only real question is if you want to go ahead and do that, or yes, I believe that is better, because you can develop the Flame Imp as well, and oh wow, and the Haunted Creeper. So he's going with everything,
which is a great play, because that's still a strong board to swipe.
It really is. The question is at this point, what are you even going to swipe? Do you swipe the Void Caller? Do you swipe the Flame Imp because it puts out the most damage? Or do you take care of the Imp Gang Boss because you're going to take care of it, the other Imp that came out, and the last Imp as well? So you really have a tough choice on what you're even going to swipe here. I think Belcher is probably the best bet. Let him deal with it a bit another turn. Let him become more vulnerable to swipe, taking out cards like the Imp Gang Boss that we see, taking out the 2 health that we have left on the Imp Gang Boss, and maybe even popping the Haunted Creeper. Well,
he draws into a nice Power Overwhelming.
He does. He'll be able to play it on any of the minions he wants. And again, depends on how much you want to play around swipe, but you're looking at a...
I just use it on the Imp. I get rid of the Imp and make room on my board.
I believe that is very good, but then you still have to run something in, probably the Abusive Sergeant, just to play around swipe the most possible way, considering your opponent hasn't had a great swipe turn. They haven't been really vulnerable to swipe. You can't gauge whether or not they have it in their hand yet. So very, very tricky set of plays here for DaImp as the Druid player, and for Taeng as the Zoo player right here. Here in Game 3 of the Cyberside Gathering Cup, the winner of this match guarantees at least 5 World Championship points for themselves. So taps into a defender, not able to play that this turn, as you suggested, taking it right here on the Imp, and most likely going to clear it up with the Abusive Sergeant, clearing up his board to swipe again, making it as invulnerable as possible. Although an Innervate would enable a clear for DaImp, so being able to Innervate both. Oh, does not get the Innervate. You do have Sylvanas. You can go ahead and play Sylvanas here. You're staring at 5, 6, 7. You're staring at 7 damage. You've already seen 1 Power Overwhelming. He only has 2 cards. You really think he has Power Overwhelming and Doomguard? Your tournament life is not at stake. You're up 2 games to none right here as the Imp. You can take that risk. You can take the best chance to give you a win, getting Sylvanas out there. You get Sylvanas out there this play, you don't waste your coin. You can double swipe next turn to almost guarantee a board clear on whatever Taeng is able to play. So I believe Sylvanas is a great, very strong play here. So very interesting to see what he's always going to go with. The Piloted Shredder and a Hero Power. Again, still very strong play. You're able to get a minion on the board, something you're going to be able to fight with when you could double swipe next turn. I believe you do go ahead and attack. You can go ahead and swipe 2 other objects next turn and not attack that. So I believe Oh, I believe attacking that was probably the correct
I
play.
agree. That 1 damage isn't going to cost her win you the game when it comes to your face, but it could cost her win you the game when it comes to clearing the board.
Absolutely. So an interesting play for DaImp not to go ahead and attack the Void Walker. We see, again, 4 damage that we can add to, let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're looking at 11 damage right here. Could put him down at 6 if he wants to. But again, the Druid player having double swipe is going to clear whatever you put out there. Being able to swipe, well, still we'll have to swipe the Void Walker most likely. Say probably the Haunted Creeper, and then the... Ooh, this is tricky. I guess you run the... run the shredder into the Void Walker.
He just missed damage.
He did. He missed 2 damage.
1 damage.
2. Oh, 1 damage. Yes, he missed 2 damage because of positioning. Had he put the Abusive Sergeant anywhere else, he could have put the Defender in 2 of the 4 targets that he had out there. And so he missed 2 damage between placement and attacks.
He probably wanted to Defender the Abusive, though.
Either way, it still dies to double swipe. You're looking at 1 swipe into the...
Yeah, but you force him to have double swipe. If he Defenders the Flame Imp, then he can clear the Flame Imp with the Shredder.
Yes, but we're seeing an amazing board clear right now for DaImp. I'm going to coin out the second swipe, as we can see. Going to swipe the Defender of Argus. We'll run the Piloted Shredder into the Void Walker. And the only thing left for Taeng right now is the Implosion. And now a Doomguard, still putting him 3 off of lethal. So
I tap Implosion.
Tap Implosion definitely seems like the play. You could even wait to tap, hopefully draw something. You could play it and Doomguard next turn and then try to get into tapping. But he is going to go ahead and tap. Gets the Implosion, which is good. Still can't play. See, hits for 3. So if one of those do not get cleared, he just wins from the Doomguard next turn if there is no hero power for the Druid. So we see another...
Draws into Keeper.
We see a Keeper here. I believe Keeper, hero power, you can completely clear the board again.
See, I think I would have dropped the Lotheb just because, I mean, you're going to lose, it doesn't really matter. But
he just played an Implosion. I mean, are you, like you said about double swipe, are you going to play around a second Implosion? So it's really questionable what we're going to see here. A Flame Imp, not the type of draw you're wanting to see. You're looking, yes, you can get the Flame Imp out there before you play the Doomguard, put the Druid down to 3, but you're in a very scary position. If we're looking at 14, 18, we're looking at 22 damage coming through if DaImp does have combo. We can see he only has Savage Roar at this point, but Taeng does not know that. Taeng knows if he does not clear one of these minions or does not taunt up, then his tournament life is completely done.
yeah, see, I would tap and hope for a 1-cost minion. That way I can double. That way I can Defender on 2 objects to try to minimize the damage. Because if he has, there's nothing you can do. If he has the combo right now, you're going to lose regardless. Even if you drop out Doomguard to take the fall, and you're still going to lose because there goes your threat, and you're going to tap yourself to death anyway to the next threat that he drops on the board.
And he does worry about his life total. Oh, wow! He is going to gamble that DaImp does not have combo, and will it pay off? We see the draw is a Shade. So we see that he cannot kill him right now. He is close. If he had Force of Nature, it would be game over, and Taeng would be knocked out of the tournament. Taeng took a very strong position, puts the Druid down to 3. Now, if he doesn't Savage Roar to clear, then he loses. So we have Savage Roar to clear. We have a Lotheb that we can follow up with to basically avoid any spells coming down, or just one spell coming down from the Warlock player. So he takes out the Doomguard and plays the Sylvanas. Does not play around Dark Bomb again. When you have Power Overwhelming with no minion, Dr. Boom! So Taeng does have Dr. Boom in his deck, plays it instantly. If anything lives, he has the Power Overwhelming to not get knocked out of the tournament.
And he also has the Boom Bots to go after his face, too.
Yes, and there is an Innervate, so very scary. I believe you have to you have to play everything you want to play, and then take out the boom bots. So you can empty almost your entire hand. You can play your Lotheb, you can play your BGH, you can hero power, you can, and again, you don't kill any boom bots until you have all of your minions out right now. One boom bot to the face for 4.
You can't play your whole hand and hero power.
No, you have to keep the shade. You keep the shade or you keep the Lotheb. I believe you. Oh well, he's going to hero power before playing anything. Is he going to attack first? Goes with Sylvanas. All right, game is not over. Does not hit to the face for 3. So very, very scary right here. He's going to go ahead and take.
There's nothing he can do. He still has to get rid of that.
No, he can.
He still has to get rid of the boom
Very
bot.
true. And taking that amount of damage to face. DaImp loses his first game of the series, and Taeng starts his comeback. 1 game Taeng, 2 games DaImp. Taeng is now down his Warlock. He has a Druid he can put into the mirror or a Hunter. Now, if he has a mid-range Hunter, I believe you want to see as many of the Druid's cards as possible. So you play the mid-range Hunter and you get ready for the Druid mirror later. You take your best chance to win. He is going to go, if I believe it is the mid-range Hunter. So Taeng right here loading up the Hunter, and we see a beautiful curve from Taeng right away. And looking to see here what DaImp is going to start out with. Again, beautiful curve. You have option of 2 drops. You do have the abusive, which you can throw back now that you have 2 into 2 into 3. We see an Innervate, we see an Ancient of Lore, we see a Wrath. Probably the Ancient of Lore getting thrown back, keeping the Innervate and Wrath. Both very good cards to have for DaImp against any type of Hunter. So, very nice. And, oh wow, we see him throw back the Companion and the Abusive. We can only see one of his cards currently. We only see the Unleash. We don't see... Alright, there you go. And he gets the Savannah Highmane. Wow! The exact mulligans I suspected. Throws back the Ancient of Lore. Gets a double Wrath. Now, if you have double Wrath, if you see anything that's not Haunted Creeper, you can Wrath into Innervate Emperor Thorson if you're getting combo pieces. So hopefully for DaImp, he can start getting combo pieces in the next couple of turns. Wrath and try to keep the board clear. Next turn and the turn after, we likely see Juggler coming down, and not sure what we'll see turn 3 yet for Taeng. Hero Power, again, no Wild Growth. We've only seen 1 Wild Growth out of the 3 Druid matchups that we've seen so far. So I do agree with that. You can Wrath for 1 next turn. Let's see, Freezing Trap.
I think he's going to drop down his second Creeper. There's no need to rush anything.
Very, very good play. Yeah, you're right. You don't need to rush anything. You have still another turn. If anything other than a Shade gets played for DaImp, then you're able to run both Creepers in and get 4 Juggles off next turn. So another Ancient of Lore brought in for DaImp. So if this game continues to last, it could be very, very bad for Taeng moving forward. He does have
next turn it's going to get bad because I'm pretty sure we're going to see an Innervate Thorson.
Yeah,
and that's going to be one hell of a curve after he innervates that Thorson.
Yes, it really is. And you're going to have 1 Wrath to be able to play with something on turn 5. Oh, and gets a Wild Growth. The question is, I don't believe you don't innervate the Wild Growth. All right, so we'll be able to Wild Growth the following turn as well. Oh, wow. Again, choosing to get in the Hero Power instead of getting the Juggler out there. I agree with this play. Starts pushing in for 5 damage and has the Leopard Gnome out there, which is going to get 2 damage. I'm sure we're not going to see it silenced. Ooh, he does have the option of silence, but I believe you Innervate Thorson.
Innervate Thorson is still the strongest play. Looking at his board, there's nothing we really are afraid of taking over the game right now. He doesn't have any Jugglers on the board or anything, so there's no need to stop what your plan is. But it does look like he is going to Wrath the Leopard Gnome.
He's going to get a card draw. I guess he wants to get
as much as he can off of the Thorson.
I guess he wants to get combo in hand before he gets the Thorson off. That is a very good play, especially if you can hang on to your Innervate to do so. You can still Wild Growth next turn if you want, and Innervate the Keeper if you want to use that as well. So clears as much off the board as he can.
So do you feel that play may have been too slow? Because now what do you do next turn? You turn 5.
Right now you Keeper of the Grove, kill the Knife Juggler, you get 0 juggles off as the Hunter. You're still only staring at 2 damage, and you go ahead and innervate Wild Growth as well. So you have the options of playing your Ancient of Lores the following turn. You can start healing up and drawing cards between the 2 versions that you have. What do you think?
I don't know. I still think that the Emperor Thorson to lower your curve was still the strongest play, because you could have just rolled right into it. Because there's no way that he could take care of your Emperor Thorson with what's on board, right? So you kind of force him to have something like a Hunter's Mark or a Kill Command. And the sooner you get rid of Kill Commands, which is one of the biggest win conditions once you start putting walls up, then the easier it is to do things.
But we still haven't seen any taunts in DaImp's version, so we don't know exactly what taunts he is playing. I believe it was Taeng that had
the Ancient Wars and Belchers. But Druids typically at least run Belchers.
Yes, at least running Belchers. All right. Precisely the play we saw, taking Keeper of the Grove, taking it out. No innervate for the hero. No innervate for Wild Growth though. I guess you're looking at this point like you want to utilize
the Wild Growth for card draw.
The Wild Growth for card draw. You're most likely going to be taking your Ancient of Lores to heal, especially since. Oh wow, the scary part right here is
exactly
Taeng is putting on the pressure, going ahead and kill commanding phase, leaving the imp to worry about another kill command following other damage.
See, and now what do you do now? Because now you have to put up your wall, and you're still looking at a heavy hand, and the curve that you had that would have been great, and you could have just put out threat after threat after threat, or healed after healed, or draw after draw. Now that's minimized, and you're only left with really one option, Druid of the Claw, and that's it. Because Emperor Thorson at this point is too slow for the game. So you're never going to be able to actually utilize Emperor Thorson from this point out.
Very true, and I don't even see a reason to innervate hero power or anything. So we're likely going to see Savannah Highmane come down for Taeng, and that Savannah Highmane should basically seal the game. I don't see anything in the hand of DaImp other than maybe stalling by continuing to heal with the Ancient of Lores that's going to get him to a point of safety where 2 Savannah Highmanes likely to come down turn after turn is going to slow down.
But if 4, 8, 12, 18 plus... Yeah, because he's still, even with what's on board, he's still out of combo range if he did draw into combo and had innervate. So, so even that, he can take his time and drop Savannah Highmane this turn, and then it requires DaImp to get rid of Savannah Highmane, because otherwise he's going to win next turn. Another good play, though, would be Unleash as well as his Bullhorn Bow, just to try to play it safe and get the Druid of the Claw out of there so you can keep forcing through damage.
Alright, so we're looking, and he is going to go ahead and put the 3 damage, right? Put at least 1 damage, sorry, into the Druid of the Claw. Just 1 damage, though. Keeps the other 2 absolutely free, so...
You know what that tells him? He's trying to tell him that he has...
Silence?
No. Kill command.
Look at that. Because a silence would also give him the kill with that. So, a silence or a kill command... either way puts him through for the win next turn. So,
but he's trying to play mind games though. Why else would you leave it up at 5 health?
Don't know. I mean, you assume he has some other type of beast in his hand if he has his other kill command. If that's the case,
he has a beast on the board.
Now he does because he dropped the Savannah Highmane.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying. But then after he drops Savannah Highmane, now he has no crystal, so he can't play kill command. But he leaves him conveniently at 5 health. So he's trying to make DaImp think that he has kill command. There you go, to try to lure out the heal and try to clear it.
Very smart play for DaImp going ahead. Ooh, that Lotheb should seal the game. From what we can see, we see basically nothing but spells and another Ancient of Lore, Emperor Thorson, and a Boom in the hand of DaImp. So healing up again, he's going to be in a rough position. He can leave one of the... 1/2/2 from 1 Savannah Highmane. If he chooses, the Lotheb will still be up, so that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
See, I would probably Unleash, because this is the best Unleash board you're going to get. Unleash, Eagle Horn, you can get through, you can get rid of his Keeper, and then you can force his hand on clearing the Savannah with the Ancient Lore, and you're still also out of combo range. And it does look like that is what he's going to do. Clear out the Keeper. I would clear out the keeper just so that he can't get rid of one of your 2/2s. And it doesn't really. I think it's a very strong turn because next turn you can, if he doesn't have combo and he doesn't force any pressure, then you can drop down Lotheb and you can prevent him from actually getting combo. And right here we see DaImp actually drawing into a Lotheb of his own. But again, his hand is just so clunky. And with that the worst and not coming down, I mean, all you can do is heal for 5, but healing for 5, you're still going to be looking at 7 on the board if he clears out the Savannah High main. So that'd be 9 on the board plus hero power. And then, so 9 on the board, he would be at 13. So all he would need would be a kill command, which, if you're DaImp right now, you're still not entirely sure if he has the kill command in his hand or not.
He's already used 1, and he is, let's see, looking at the Hunter, is 11 cards into his deck. At that point, we've talked about this quite a bit. At what card draw do you start playing around the second version of a card? In the first 10 cards, you normally don't. Now we're at 11 cards. We're going to be at 12 or 13 by the time it's really going to matter. He does heal. It gives him the best chance to stay alive, and for Taeng not to tie the series up to 2 apiece. So he's going to innervate hero power to get as much health as he can. Going to push in a little bit of damage.
But again, and that's a scary play, because if he did have a second kill command, this game would be over. So I'm thinking here you just attack face with the bow, Glade Zuka, and then drop down Lotheb.
Now, I don't believe you attack with the Glade Zuka or drop that. I believe you hero power. But I personally would have played the Lotheb. You're setting up for lethal. You do not want him to combo to clear you out. You don't want any type of silence, innervate, spell power, swipe to clear your board. You don't want him to see anything like that. So
and he draws into a Sylvanas.
Which,
so still,
unfortunately, there is absolutely nothing DaImp is going to be able to do. Even Lotheb right here, game still absolutely closed out for. Yes, again. While both players do not know it yet, we know that Glade Zuka gives Taeng more than enough damage to finish the game. Now with most likely just drawing a Huffer as well, just to get the extra damage. So that's it. Taeng is going to tie the series up 2 games apiece after going down 0-2. Leah coming out in the most convenient of times with minions on the board and you already having lethal. So that's when you like to see.
So now we're all tied up.
We are all tied up 2 games apiece. Druid Mirror right now going into game 5. Wonderful series so far in the first semifinal match here at the Cyberside Gathering Cup #1. Players already queuing up into their next match. Having to re-queue spectator mode for DaImp right now. Oh, here we go. Malfurion versus Malfurion. So we see Taeng with tech cards like Mind Control. So we see an innervate right here, kept for Taeng. Still waiting to see the, still waiting to see the mulligan for DaImp, see what he has here in his mulligan parts. We have an amazing series so far. Who do you think is going to take this here? We've seen DaImp queue up his Druid the past 2 games, not able to get enough traction to win against 2 pretty bad matchups though. We have Zoo and then we have mid-range Hunter with Savannah High main. So 2 very bad matchups for DaImp, not able to close it out. Do you believe he'll be able to take it here in this mirror match when Taeng is looking at the more taunty version and DaImp is looking more streamlined with first hand? What do you think?
I think Taeng has the upper hand, and a lot of it just has to do with tilt right now. I mean, Taeng was down 2-0, and he came back, and he's looking at a reverse sweep right now. And so DaImp has to be, you've got to think that he's got to be on tilt, thinking that he's going to come back and re-sweep him.
Yes, it really is insane to see what...
There's been in a lot of the tournaments that are going on right now. There's a lot of reverse sweeps. People's and players' reactions to other people's decks, making adjustments and different ways they approach decks afterwards. It is, I feel, this year has really taken a step up since the launch of Hearthstone. People diagnosing exactly what people are going to do, how to get around certain things, how to make unfavorable matchups favorable matchups, and I think a lot of that has to do with the consistency that the meta is now. There was a lot of differences in the meta early on in the launch of Hearthstone, where now it's all kind of, like you said, streamlined, so you kind of know what you're getting into. And that's where tech cards help you out, as well as knowing how to approach a match. And just watching him come back down from 0-2 and come back, and he has...
Yes, you're spot on. Watching him come down 0-2 to pulling it back, and this is something I've actually done a fair amount of recently in a lot of the Gfinity Cups. I seem to always go down 0-2 the first couple matches, and then coming back to win the third, fourth, and fifth game. You're right. The player who wins the first two and then loses the next two, going into Game 5, you are on tilt. There are a lot of things you're worried about. What are you going to do? How are you going to deal with certain things? And it's just, you've played this deck 3 times. You've seen almost every card in the deck through those first 2 games against it. What's going to happen in this last matchup? And Taeng went ahead and got his Sledge Belcher out early, and DaImp goes ahead and coin innervates an Ancient of War to draw cards, pushing a little bit of face damage, and DaImp, knowing he's going to have to battle a ton of taunts. We haven't seen the Black Knight in anybody's decks in quite some time, actually. So here, do you go ahead and clear out the entire Taz Dingo? Do you clear out the first half of the Belcher? Maybe Hero Power and Wrath for 1. You're close to being able to clear everything with Swipe, just a 1 mana short. So questionable to, 3 mana short. Questionable to see exactly what we're going to see here, but it definitely will be an interesting play regardless. Going ahead and taking out the Taz Dingo, removing the most amount of damage from the board. Will Hero Power and pass. So there you go, DaImp making a very smart play. I completely agree. Oh, Sylvanas being drawn for Taeng, and we've spoken about this as well. This is a matchup. I do not care what the opponent has on the board. As soon as I can play Sylvanas in this matchup, I want to play it. I'm not playing Sylvanas to get to steal something from the opponent. I am playing it because
to stop tempo.
Yes, if they have to spend a turn dealing with Sylvanas and not playing a big creature because you'll steal it, if they have to spend mana to silence it, even using innervates, the other Druid just loses so much tempo. Now, we have an option to either get a Druid of the Claw out, which can get dealt with in a multitude of ways, or a Harrison Jones, which, again, I believe the Harrison right here is the better play. You can hide it behind the Belcher. You have a higher percentage of it being able to attack next turn than the 4 attack of the Druid of the Claw. So you want to be able to push for damage. You have Savage Roar already in hand, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Harrison is going to push for some damage with the Belcher. So down to 24 health now for DaImp, and looking at a Sylvanas probably coming out next turn for a Taeng.
And he draws into a Shredder himself, does DaImp. And, yep, just going to clear this out here. Probably see a swipe and leave a 1-1 out there, which is exactly what we do. And then Hero Power that down and pass. Oh, Wrath
draw a card. You have 2 of them in hand. Go ahead and Wrath, draw a card real quick. Now you have 2 7-drops you can drop over the next 2 turns, and 2 Shredders. So you can drop a 7-drop, 2 4-drops, and then 7-drop Hero Power. And you already have combo in hand and another Wrath. DaImp's hand looking absolutely amazing. Although, like we said, Sylvanas on an empty board in this matchup played instantly from Taeng.
It's so great because a Druid's 5-6-7 curve is that's what they look forward to in the game. 5-6-7. So when you drop Sylvanas right in the center of that, it throws off all tempo of everything they want to do because they have to deal with Sylvanas. You don't want to drop an Ancient or well, you do, but all that's going to do is clear the board. So that's still one of your threats that are gone.
Ooh, he draws into his own Sylvanas and an Innervate. So it's getting scary right now. We're approaching super combo range for DaImp, already having Force of Nature, Double Savage Roar, and Innervate. So come turn 10, he'll be able to put out the 22 damage of that combo. So
I think right now he's deciding whether he wants to Druid of the Claw and Wild Growth, or if he wants to Ancient of War. I think I would Ancient of War this, and I would just leave Sylvanas on the board and just hit his face. Put some aggression in there yourself. You're also looking at Savage Roar in your hand, so next turn you'll be able to Druid of the Claw, Savage Roar if he does not take care of this, which actually would be game.
Yes, it very well could be game right there. And as we see, the spectator mode client with the Druid selection.
It really just hates Druids.
It does. The selection options for Druid, it just does not like. Now, you have a good option here as DaImp. Now, you are worried about Innervate combo for Taeng coming through to lose the series. So you are worried about that. But at the same point, you can drop your own Sylvanas and running your Ancient of Lore, leaving 5 damage alone for the other Ancient of War on the other side. You leave the opponent, in a very tough predicament. Unless they have silence, they can't just leave Sylvanas alone. They have to give something. And what are you going to want to give it? Another Sylvanas or something else? So it's very interesting right here. We'll see what DaImp goes with and if he's going to be able to stay in this game. So he does pick out his own Sylvanas. He likely will run the Ancient of Lore in. And you may even see...
But if he does not get rid of this Ancient of Lore, that's game. Because he's looking at a Druid the Claw charge with Savage War next turn, and that's
it.
That's game.
Taeng pulls the reverse sweep and wins.
And I think that's something that Taeng, because we didn't see Savage Roar last game, did we?
No, we didn't. I don't believe we did.
Oh no, because DaImp was playing anyway. So as we sit here and we have the spectator glitch again, it doesn't really matter because we were closing out the series, and Taeng does take it. But when you sit there and you stare after taunt after taunt after taunt, I think what you're focused on now is how do I get through the taunt so that
I can start pushing through my damage.
And you're not so much thinking about his